Fired up.
Feeling good.
Feeling good.
Motivated.
Motivated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
All right.
Right.
I'm out of sight.
Out of sight.
Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Doing it right.
Doing it right.
Wanna jump.
Wanna jump.
From a bird.
From a bird.
All right.
All right.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Fired up.
Fired up.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Motivated.
Motivated.
Like a me.
Like a me.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Feeling good.
Feeling good.
Gonna rock.
Gonna rock.
Through the song.
Through the song.
Lead
Lead me.
Green machine.
Green machine.
Airborne.
Airborne.
I am. Lead me.
Me.
I'm rubbing down.
Rough and tough.
On the bluff.
Off the bluff.
I know my stuff.
Know my stuff.
I can run.
I can run.
All day.
All day.
I can fight.
I can fight.
All night.
All night.
Let me be.
Let me be.
Infantry.
Infantry.
Airborne.
Airborne.
Silver wings.
Silver wings.
Fired up.
Fired up.
Fired up.
Fired up.
All right.
All right.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Clap your hands.
Clap your hands.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Sound off.
Sound off.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Let them know.
Let them know
Who you are.
who you are.
All right.
All right.
Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Clap your hands.
Clap your hands.
We gonna boogie.
Gonna boogie.
Boogie woogie.
Boogie woogie.
Boogaloo.
Boogaloo.
Me and you.
Me and you.
Airborne.
Airborne.
All right.
All right.
We're gonna rock.
Gonna rock.
Everybody.
Everybody.
We're gonna be.
Gonna be.
Airborne.
Airborne.
I wanna be.
I wanna be.
Lead me.
Lead me.
Green machine.
Green machine.
I'm airborne.
Good morning, good morning. This is KASH Jackson. I may very well be the saltiest sailor in the United States, albeit I cannot claim the name the salty sailor because somebody else has got it. But with that being said, there's a lot to talk about. First of all, who am I? Who is this grungy looking, middle-aged white male sitting in a Navy uniform without a neckerchief or a red rope? Because he used to be an RDC as well. Who is this guy, KASH Jackson? People ask me this all the time. KASH, who are you? Well, I'm glad that you asked me. Let me tell you. Number one, as you can tell, I'm a retired Navy veteran. I spent 20 years in the military. I've got all these gold stripes and shit over here to prove it. Yeah, I didn't make chief, and some of you military snobs out there are already questioning why I didn't put on E7 before I got out of the Navy. And, well, we'll get to you a little bit later on in the show. But I did 20 years in the United States Navy. This little warfare device up here signifies that I was on board submarines. And in fact, I was on the USS Nebraska Gold Crew, stationed out of Kings Bay, Georgia, back from around 1997, January of 97 to October of 2001, until I got transferred to Naval Recruiting District, New Orleans, as a young E5, a second-class machinist mate. But as it were, they put me in little old Mountain Home, Arkansas, which was about 12 hours, 11 hours away from New Orleans. So we were the redheaded stepchildren of the district, as far away as you could get. But I was right at home, right up here in the state of Arkansas, because they were cut of similar cloth of where I came from in Northwest Louisiana. I was born in Shreveport, October 4th, 1978, and my name was, at that time, Benjamin Winderriedel. Many of you knew me as MM1 Winderriedel. I trained hundreds and hundreds or thousands of sailors during my 20 years in the military. I never bothered to keep track, you see, because it wasn't important. But it's important now because something that I loved and I excelled at in the military was training. And training it's teaching, but with a hands-on approach. We do a great deal in the military of on-the-job training, showing our sailors exactly how we want them to do the job, modeling the behavior inside and outside of work that we would like for them to exemplify, with those core values of honor, courage, and commitment. But after I recruited here in Mountain Home, Arkansas, I went on up to Bangor, Washington, Naval Submarine Base, Bangor, Washington, where I conducted classified undersea research and development at Submarine Development Squadron 5. It's where I earned this nifty little device, what we call a deep submergence insignia. And those who have been within a deep submergence unit will know and probably have a good idea about some of the work that I was doing while there. I worked in several different areas there, mission auxiliary and mission vehicles. I was the leading petty officer of the mission vehicles division until I had the extreme displeasure several years after this duty station of going into family court, because I would end up going back to undersea research and development after I left RDC duty, where I was stationed in Great Lakes, Illinois from 2009 to 2012. July 09 to July of 2012 was a recruit division commander, where I trained 8 different divisions. I believe I was on my 9th whenever I got transferred out. There was a debacle with my orders at the end there, which is why I didn't quite finish out that push. But I had the pleasure of training the future of the Navy. I had the distinct pleasure of not only training young men and women, sailors or future sailors in boot camp, but I also got screened and selected to be a instructor, a recruit division command RDC school instructor. So I trained new RDCs who were coming in. I trained them in drill phase predominantly. And I wasn't anything flashy with drill, right? The nuts and the bolts, the basics to get the job done, get it done right. I didn't give 2 shits about all the flair, all the bullshit in between. All I cared about is, do my students, before they go out and push boots, do they have the basic concepts and understanding to make them successful and not a burden on their partners? And that's what I always sought to achieve. I loved the job. I did extremely well there. I got this Navy Commendation Medal over here from that service. And I was very proud of the accomplishments of myself, my sailors, and all of my recruits. And it was due to, in large part, the wonderful mentoring I had above me. I left from RDC duty, separated from my then wife, my second wife, and went on to back to undersea research and development. So I went back to Bangor, Washington in the summer of 2012. And it was at that time that I entered into the Mission Auxiliary Division for the second time, before getting a lateral transfer over to Mission Vehicles Division at my request. I wanted to be in Mission Vehicles. But subsequently, that career there, and I had about 16 years in, 17 years in at that time, and that career was subsequently derailed through false allegations of my ex-wife there in Great Lakes, Illinois. I told her I was going to get a divorce because we've been separated for 2 years, and during this 2-year time frame, she was keeping her $85,000 to $87,000 salary to herself, while my entire Navy paycheck was paying the $2,500 mortgage at our home in Illinois and supporting our 2 young children, which of course I didn't mind. These are my children whom I love dearly. Thus began my adventures into dealing hands-on with our state government. This would be my first time in ever dealing with anything outside of the military. You see, I was married twice. Whenever I went through my first divorce in Mountain Home, Arkansas, it was an amicable divorce. We were young. We got married at 19 years old. We were together a couple years and had a little boy. And we were just young and dumb. And that's what I chalk it up to. But then I went through a subsequent divorce there in Great Lakes, Illinois. And like many service members out there, I was put through the ringer. I was destroyed. It destroyed my life. Every understanding that I had of our government and what it should look like, what it meant, that was destroyed. In one shot, it was all just completely blown out of the water because I was treated like a criminal. I was treated like less than human. I was coerced into a corner in accepting an agreement that was so extremely lopsided to my ex-wife that no reasonable person would ever agree to that. If you sat that down, that marital settlement agreement, in front of 2 people and said, okay, you both have to sign this. This was their proposal, mind you. This was my ex-wife and her attorney's proposal. The Schlesinger and Strauss law firm with Gary Schlesinger and Michael Strauss, 2 very dirty, rotten, low-down attorneys, both of them. And my ex-wife would use this firm to make the allegations against me that destroyed my career, that terminated my career early with no evidence. And with an entire record, a 20-year record of exemplary military performance, yeah, I fucked up. And disclaimer, this isn't a kid's show. This is an adult show. We're going to talk about adult matters here. But it fucked up my career. It ruined my career. There we have, thank you, CJ, my executive producer, CJ Abernathy, thank you. Onboard nuclear-powered submarines, serving all over the world. These are what men and women are sacrificing for every single day. They're going out here, they're on these ships, they're on the high seas, they're risking their lives, they're spending months and months away from their families. And they believe all the while they're defending the Constitution. They believe that those months under the ocean, that it is in defense or deterrence of those who would infringe upon our constitutionally protected rights. And the oath of these service members is to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And this is what shattered my reality. My reality was shattered when I realized, with only allegations, my career and my life was ruined. With only allegations, I was reduced to being a visitor to my children, begging for the leftovers, the scraps, a little morsel to be a parent to my kids. And so through all of this and what was transpiring, it had sent me into a deep state of depression. What was happening in my country sent me into a deep state of not understanding. It was just, my world was shattered. Everything in my world was shattered, that this could happen in this country, that it was happening to men and women that I swore to support and defend their constitutional rights. And I had to acknowledge to myself, I fucked up. I fucked up. We were not ever defending the Constitution against any enemies, foreign or domestic. We were furthering corporate interest abroad. Congress is bought and paid for. We know this. The American people know Congress is compromised. Our state house and state legislators are compromised. They are destroying human beings. They're doing it with impunity. They have the foxes guarding the hen house. They are cycling Americans through the judicial system, through the criminal justice system, through probate courts, family law courts. These aren't small things. They're taking generational wealth that was created by your parents and your grandparents, by your families, by their sacrifices, by the blood that they laid down on this soil and abroad, the time that they spent away from their family. They are robbing you of those sacrifices. They are stealing it from you. And they're doing it so boldly and so arrogantly. They believe that you will never ever stand up. You will never challenge the status quo. Men have remained silent for entirely too long. The sleeping giant in this country, it's not just Donald Trump supporters. It's not just Joe Biden supporters. It's not just undecideds or libertarians or Greens. There is a heartbeat that is rapidly increasing. The pulse of this country and the pressure inside this nation is rising. We are witnessing an election stolen, defrauded. And we have suspected and seen, and we've seen that the local news stories of being defrauded in areas just like Lake County, Illinois. Our government is corrupt. Our service members are not taught the Constitution. I wasn't taught the Constitution, which is why I had to really swallow that the circumstances that I was in then and I'm in now were as a result of me not taking any time to sit down with this, to study this, to understand this, and the Declaration of Independence that preceded it. understanding why this country was formed. It was done so in turmoil and angst. They fled from a country that was oppressing them. But what they didn't fully get rid of was the oppression that they brought with them. The policies and practices and procedures that they used in dealing with citizens in England was subsequently brought here. All of the issues and the way that we dealt with individuals who didn't obey the crown, it's here. We're living amongst it right now. Some of you think that there is a war coming. The war is already here. You're already inside of it. There is already a battle for this nation. And it's between two opposing ideologies. I am neither right nor left. Sometimes I'm a little right, sometimes I'm a little left. Mostly I'm right in the middle, where most of us are. We are finding each and every day, there's more veterans reaching out to me. They're going, Cash, I can't believe in this country that I serve that I can't see my kids. Cash, they're taking so much of my military disability, I can't pay my bills. I don't know what to do. I'm at my ends rope, bud. I don't know what to do. Can you help me? Please, Cash, can you help me? Every day, that's what I get. My feed is saturated. My inbox is saturated. Help me, help me, help me, Cash, help me. These are the cries of the American people. And these are the cries that so many of you are not hearing. You are not seeing. You're not stepping forward with your principles and your morals and your values and saying enough is enough. Enough in this country is enough. Men and women are led into the military under false pretenses that they're there to defend our Constitution. And they are, in fact, not there to defend the Constitution because they don't even teach it, folks. They don't even teach the Constitution to them. I know. You might have some officer courses where they touch on or have a conversation about the Constitution and its amendments and its founding, and there might be some discussion about how great the founding fathers were in implementing this, in giving rise to the greatest nation or possibility for the greatest nation that this world has ever seen. And we were headed that way. I believe that we were headed that direction. We didn't start off on a good fucking foot. Let's be honest. And I have so many friends from the Native American community, as you just saw some of the video, getting to know who I am. I was in Standing Rock, North Dakota. I made 3 short, very brief visits to Standing Rock while still fighting my custody case. As a matter of fact, going to Standing Rock and assisting water protectors, Native Americans, defending their constitutional right to protest peacefully. I defend their peaceful protests, such as you see there. I don't support or condone, and didn't then, what was happening to them. Shooting them with water cannons in freezing temperatures. Teenagers being shot with bean bags by private security, by Tiger Swan. These guys have my names and documents. I was contacted by reporters. These guys, Tiger Swan, private security guys, some of my brothers, right? People that I served alongside. Used as private contractors against the American people. Where are my brothers at in speaking about this? OC spraying these people standing in the river. You see it for yourself. Unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. These are Americans. These are our people. It's not people from the left or the right that I love or hate the most. Our common enemy is not our neighbor. The common enemy here are those who are trying to dictate how we should live our lives, how we should raise our children, what we should teach our children. And that is what has landed us here today. Government's overreach, indoctrinating our children into a belief system to just sit down, shut up, don't talk back, don't question authority, don't call a spade because I'm white and a veteran and a man. I'm not supposed to question what the Republican Party does. I should swear fealty to this party that overly represents the demographic that looks just like me. The problem is they don't actually represent them, nor does the Democratic Party represent those that it purports to represent. They represent their own interests. And the interest of them is political power. To maintain political power, they must divide and conquer. The power struggle isn't between you and I. It's not between me and the black man in Chicago. It's not between me and the native on the Crow Creek Reservation. My struggle is not with the immigrant in Southwest Texas. My struggle is with the powers that be. Because just as they would put immigrant children in cages, they place veterans and American citizens in mental and emotional and physical cages every single day, unnecessarily. This is who I am. And people don't like that. They don't want somebody who goes, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. That's stupid. That's stupid. No, you can't tell them they can't get married. No, you can't tell them they can't smoke pot. No, you can't tell them that they can't own guns. No, that you can't tell them that they can't decide who's best for their business. No, you cannot take their professional and personal licenses away from them while stripping them of their children. Both of these parties have done this. The enemy is not you and I. We are not the enemy. The state is the enemy. The state believing that they have the power and the authority to take at will any of your rights, deprive you of your due process, rape your family. They rape them emotionally, mentally, financially, spiritually, because they take and take and take and take. And you labor and labor and labor day in and day out. You get up, you serfs out there, my fellow serfs, you get your asses up, you punch the alarm clock, you grab your coffee, you throw on your winter coat, and you head off into the field of battle. And for you, the field of battle is the struggle, trying to feed your family, trying to pay your bills, trying to get one more step ahead, trying to ensure that the future generations of your bloodline will succeed. And they are depriving of you each and every day. As you work, they slice off a little more for themselves. And they say, we need a little more. We need a little more. And they're taking your finances, your ability to build generational wealth for you and your family. They're taking more of that from you, prolonging the inevitable, prolonging your ability to get up and out of poverty. I came from an impoverished family. Many of my family members live in poverty now. Thankfully for me, in my military service and the benefits that I earned from that service, I fell into the middle class, out of poverty and into the middle class. But even that didn't protect me. My military service didn't protect me. These medals didn't protect me. My white skin, the patriarchy didn't protect me. As a matter of fact, it was the white male patriarchy that stripped me of my children. It is, in fact, the beta white male patriarchy, those who detest my masculinity, that strip me of my children, that take men like me, and they weaponize our God-given characteristics to demonize us and justify the taking of our children. This is who Cash Jackson is. I was born Benjamin Adam Winderweedle, October 4th, 1978. In Shreveport, Louisiana, to a young mother and a young father, both in poverty and both uncertain about their futures and where they were going to go. Raised by my maternal grandparents, very rough and rugged very tough people that were extremely hard on me. It was that upbringing and that lifestyle that taught me a hard work ethic, to love others, to fight for others, even through their faults. My grandparents, and it's for another episode, my grandparents had some fucking issues. They had some deep-seated problems that they took out on us. And many of you do. You have things that were taken out on you by other people who were abused by the state, who made their lives so much more difficult than what they needed to be. And as the stressors of life unfolded upon them and made their lives more difficult, they did what we identify with today as self-medicating. Today, we have medical cannabis being legalized across the United States. It's legalized here in Arkansas, in the Bible Belt, of all places. For medicinal marijuana, it is legalized here. Why do you need a license to use a plant that God gave you, that God put here? Why? Why do you need government's permission? Take my own case. I struggle with major depressive disorder. My depression stems directly from the 6 years of litigation and 8 years that I've been kept from my children for the better part of these 8 years. That is what has caused the major depressive disorder that I struggle with, like many people struggle with. And other characteristics and traits unfold as a result of that depression. Sleep deprivation, stressed out, higher blood pressure, abnormal heartbeats. A lot of health difficulties stem directly from major depressive disorder. But I elect not to take all of these pharmaceuticals and the pills that have killed so many veterans in this country. More than 22 veterans a day killed themselves. I stopped counting my friend's suicide at the 10th one. I just stopped. And many of them also going through family court issues. The issue that's most important to me, the single most important issue to me, is the state overreach that creates the government and the bureaucracy that we see in family courts, the domestic relations courts. They are taking our children. They are making billions of dollars by taking our children. Years of memories lost and stolen from us. They simultaneously thank you for your service while taking your children from you, then bankrupting you in the process, treating you as though you are a deadbeat and a criminal, deserving of such treatment. You are met with indifference, no empathy or sympathy for the pain and the suffering that they're now heaping upon you and your families. In the state of Illinois, they suspend driver's license, just like in many other states, when you fall behind on child support. Even though they've ordered you to turn over 40 to 50%, upwards of 65% of an individual's income can be taken from them, can be garnished from them when they have arrears in child support. You take any person in this nation in the median household income or individual salary and take 65% of that income and tell me what you come up with. It is inhumane that we have driven fathers into the streets. It is inhumane that is at this juncture, nobody is speaking for the men and women that are living on these streets in America, and how the domestic policy that Republicans and Democrats have created and shaped, and how corporate interest in the United States has made this possible to force people into the streets and make us slaves to the system. And it goes completely undiscussed. There's no speak of the trauma heaped upon women like the beautiful woman you see here, Marina Phoenix, the woman that I've been with for 6 years of my life that's held me up. Nobody speaks of the horrors that she has seen in holding the rags to my open wrist. Nobody comforted her and held her hand when she was leaving the hospital after seeing me in intensive care, struggling with major depression, something that is so real to Americans today. Arguably, it may be the deadliest disease that a veteran may ever face. And that depression unfolds as they come out of their military service and they begin to truly understand what is transpiring in this country. That their service wasn't about defense of the Constitution. We are one of the largest voting blocks for third parties. The military and veteran community recognizes and knows better than anyone how ugly war is. Why on God's green earth do we not take the over 1.3 million active and reserves and use them to build our country? We are paying them. They are prepared with technical skill sets and capabilities and leadership and all of these wonderful traits that we gain from the military, these really very positive things that we gain from being in the military. Why are we, the American citizens, not reaping the benefits of what we are investing in? Why are we not getting the most out of our service members? Because the most out of our service members is not them dying on some foreign piece of soil for big oil or big pharma. It is not protecting a poppy field in Afghanistan. It is not protecting an oil field in Iraq. The most that we could get out of our young men and our young women is training them to build this country and protect this country. We're giving them the skill sets, just like Marina Phoenix, of being a security officer in the military, but they only guard our military bases, when they can be used for so much more. They can be used to go into these communities that are struggling and build the schools and build the playgrounds and build the gardens and build the communications and set people up for success. The reparations we need is not, in fact, turning over large sums of money to people that we don't know whether or not their ancestors even came from Africa, or whether or not we, the taxpayers, whether or not any of our ancestors ever owned a slave. The proper way to repay the debt owed to these families and their generations is for us to build these communities, to bring our service members home off of foreign soil. Because if you're going to spend the money on these service members, if you're going to spend the money training them to do electronics and mechanics and carpentry and plumbing, and yes, even shoot a gun, if you're going to train them to do all of those things, why do all of our communities not reap the most from those skill sets every single day? The Cash Jackson today is not the Cash Jackson from 2017. Because I've continued to learn and to grow and to find and to explore, to gain a deeper understanding of myself and who I am as a man, where I come from, the mistakes that I've made, and what is it I owe myself, my children, and my country. And I believe that I'm still required to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I believe that. I'm still getting money from the taxpayers in my military disability pay and my veteran retirement pay. Yes, it's compensation for time already served. But the time that I served in, I wasn't actually defending the Constitution. And this is part of what shaped me into who I am. This was a part of the change inside me in every aspect of my life. Attempting suicide is something that is so traumatic to an individual that while not being able to speak for other people, but I was at such a low point in my life when that happened to me. I was the lowest I had ever been in my entire life. And it fundamentally altered me as a man entirely. I believe that on that day that I killed the man that I was. Better yet, government killed the man that I was, the man that I was born as. They murdered me by depriving me of the very rights that I believed I was defending. CJ, are we still on?
Yeah, Cash, we're still on.
It says it's locked up here. Live says 2820, and it's not counting down any.
Your phone is frozen. We're still live on your platform. Hi, everybody. Executive producer CJ Abernathy here.
Technical difficulties.
Technical
I can't see
difficulties.
any comments or anything.
No, it happens on the phone. I haven't done any comments because you've been talking, so I figured I'd wait for you to ask for some comments. But yeah.
Well, so this is going into a straight podcast. So here we're going to have to make a shift on the fly right now. I'm going to let you, CJ, if you don't mind, because I cannot see. My screen is locked up, as you said at the moment, and I don't want to close it out. So this is just going to go into a straight video or audio podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
Because now it's going to have to go between you and I, and you're going to have to relay what the comments are on the page.
Yeah. So Chris says good morning. Steve back at it again in the morning. Let's see. Brian here says good morning, Cash. Adam says the civil peacetime flag is the People's Declaration of Freedom flag. It seems like Chris is just really happy you're on today. Julie says attention. And let's see. Billy says great motivation for the work ahead. Brian says salty, and you can definitely tell people are tuning in to hear what you guys say this morning. Yeah, definitely log in on your laptop there. You should be able to see these two. Karen Rivera says good morning. Brandon says that you need to shave. I'll let you handle that one.
Oh, look at there. There's one of my old recruits. Is that you shitbird Shively? I think that it is. So here's the thing. And I'm glad I'm able to get these comments up and start seeing some of these. So it's going to be kind of weird. I got to talk to this phone while reading comments on that computer over there with a slight delay. Being that I'm a retired Navy veteran, there's certain times that we're authorized to wear this uniform. Now, here's my argument on wearing this uniform. My argument is that I am exercising my First Amendment right, my constitutional right, as a reporter for the Veteran Liberty Network. I'm exercising that right to defend the Constitution, using my voice. Because I don't believe that my voice is going to be an option for much longer. I believe that there's something far larger coming, and I think a lot of you do as well.
Jonathan has a question here for you, Cash. What's your first ex-wife's opinion of what happened to you by your second ex?
I don't really know. I never really talked to her about it. My first wife and I also had our issues between us, and most of those issues developed while going through the divorce and custody proceeding with my second ex-wife. I fell behind a substantial amount in paying child support to her because they were making me pay so much in Illinois. So I fell way behind on my child support with her, and it soured the relationship. Now, up until that juncture, for over 12 years, I'd had no issues with paying the $500 a month child support on my oldest son, Colby. He and I don't have a close relationship. I'm not surprised. He grew up with his mother. And her and I parenting techniques are, of course, dramatically different. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know. And I really don't care. But I do know that they communicated from time to time with one another. But I also know through my older boy that my second ex-wife, Julia, never really had any contact with or didn't allow my younger two children contact with their older brother. So that tells me enough, all I need to know about them.
Another question for you, Cash. You got an honorable discharge, or did they just throw you out?
Oh, no. I mean, I've got great question. No, I've got the DD-214.
That's from Rick in New York.
Yeah, Rick, appreciate you, bud, up there in New York. No, sir. I do have an honorable discharge. I do have my DD-214 that I will present at the request of any person to prove my service. I'll let you guys see letters from governors, Asa Hutchinson, the governor here in Arkansas. That's a retirement letter. Because, of course, some people are going to want you to validate your service. Fine. I will. Governor of the state of Georgia, right? Whenever I was on the USS Nebraska out of Kings Bay, Georgia, you guys can look this stuff up. 739 is our whole number. Gold Crew, they have two crews, Gold Crew and Blue Crew. A lot of my buddies are from my service and time there are friends of mine, so they can. I've got somebody that can assert who I am as a person at each and every location. They can tell you everything that I fucked up. They can tell you how ornery I was. They can tell you about how hard I partied as a young man. They can tell you about a lot of my crazy antics. Whatever you want to know, I'm an open book. Great question. So I appreciate you guys asking these. Now, Mark White, thank you for pointing that out. This is a global phenomenon. Okay, this is a global phenomenon. Thank you, Daniel King. I appreciate you, brother. Are you the Daniel King that I put in the Navy from out of Mountain Home, Arkansas, or are you a different one? But this global phenomenon is happening in the UK. It's happening in Australia. It's happening in Canada. Of forcing parents out of their children's lives. Now, predominantly, it had happened to men, but it's increasingly happening more and more to women. Women are set up because as they drive out these protectors and these providers, these masculine men, as they push them out of the picture, these women believe that they are, in fact, the superior parent. They have this golden uterus or uterus syndrome that's developed in our country about worshiping single mothers and the oh so helpless, victimless single mother. And I believe that they took something that was honorable and they blew this up and used it and they weaponized this. Jason, I'm only about an hour away from Fort Smith. They weaponized this against men. They weaponized our military service and our masculinity. When it benefited them the most, they appreciated it. They appreciated that you were strong and you're vocal and that you would place yourself between your family and any threat that came to that door, right? And that's what our service members are doing, just like my buddy Ray Walker, MM1 Walker, great guy I served with up in Bangor, Washington. That's what I'm talking about. These are my friends. This is my family. These are my brothers. Ray's been through this. I've watched Ray go through his own case in Illinois. Weaponize his service against him. We are easy targets for the state. Ashley, I believe that it's going to be something far worse than that. Given what I'm hearing, and I've yet to put my eyes on any evidence. Let me proceed this. I don't want to overstate what I know about this. But I have direct ties to some of the legal team investigating those Dominion machines. I have direct ties to people who have firsthand knowledge, direct links now to the investigations in these states to the voter fraud. And it's ongoing. And what they're telling me and what I've heard, and again, I haven't seen anything, but I trust the man who is delivering the information to me. I trust this guy. He is a strong constitutionalist, and he fights for this country. He fights for America. He's a good guy. If Biden takes office, or Biden tries to take office, and they have substantial evidence that they are going to put out to the American people, they will put it out. And when they put it out to the American people and they show you what I've been hearing, what I'm being told about this, when they show this to you, I believe that to the American people, at least those with any modicum of reason, that we are being defrauded, and we don't know how long, right? That's a bigger question that I don't believe really anybody's talking about. If and when this unfolds, I don't believe Trump's going to leave office. And I believe that we are going to enter into a power struggle between two very radically opposing ideologies. The left and the right are getting ready for who knows what. And the majority of us are sitting there in the middle. Men like CJ will be sitting in the middle going, what the shit is going on? CJ, I don't know if you're in the back studio or if you're in the show right now.
I'm in the show right now. So we're out of comments and people don't know how this works. So there's a link in the description that KASH has been not telling you about, that if you watching this show want to participate and join, can click the link and it'll take you backstage and you can join the broadcast and have a quick conversation with KASH if you'd like. So again, links in the description if you'd like to join the broadcast.
You know what? I didn't know this.
Now you do.
I never knew that.
Now everybody knows.
They had to click on a link to come into the the studio.
So it's public. First guest is always an honor spot. So if you're out there and you're listening to KASH this morning and you want to be a part of episode 1 here, then please click the link, join backstage, and we'll get you on the broadcast. Just a producer note real quick.
We can bring on some guests. Do you want to bring on some guests?
Yeah, and again, get your comments in there, and we'll do our best to get them all on there.
Can I? What's a salty sailor got to do for a coffee refill? I need a 2-minute pump and dump. You know what I mean?
Oh,
2-minute pump and dump. Got to refill some coffee.
We're definitely going to have to work this out with your bowel movements to where they don't interfere with the show.
I don't need to actually take a dump, CJ. I'm saying it's just the phrase. I need a couple minutes.
Yeah, no, fine. Go. I can talk to the camera, I guess, for you, KASH, if you'd like.
Okay. Hey, maybe talk to him about, is there something that
I'll introduce myself as the executive producer while you go get coffee.
Well, you're a handsome man. I have no doubt you can hold their attention for 2 minutes.
Well, that's all right. You go grab yourself some coffee, KASH. What's up, everybody? It's your boy CJ, the executive producer of what you're watching now, which again is an honor to be working with KASH once again to at least this professional capacity. And I look forward to producing a excellent show where you guys in the veteran community, family law community, politic, revolution, I look forward to you being able to participate in this and having an excellent show. KASH is in desperate need of somebody to help him with the production technical side of things. I'm technically not the co-host. You won't be seeing me on a lot of the show itself in future broadcasts, but I definitely will be behind the scenes. Will be playing a role there, helping assist KASH and whatnot. So make sure that when we go live, we're going to do this 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, that you tune in the morning and click that link and throw your comment out, share the video, do all the little things that help support a broadcast. Everything means a lot in these startups. It can make or break an entire show. We're still working out all the details and intro, some marketing. We want to be able to get you guys t-shirts, coffee mugs, sweatshirts, sponsors. If you're out there and you want to sponsor this broadcast, you can reach out to myself or KASH, and we can get you connected up and plugged in. So I do see that the comments are there what was it, Mr. Cole here. I will definitely hit you up. Executive producer is what I do. I am a executive producer, highly sought after, I guess. Apparently I've done something right or wrong, whichever it is. So I do see that KASH does have his first caller. It looks like Jason's backstage, so we'll get Jason on when KASH gets back from doing his dump. I guess he's got all the huge dumps, the biggest dumps, the most dumps that you can dump. I mean, who does that? Honestly, they get their first show. They're like, I'm just gonna take my producer and go get some coffee real quick. So. Yeah, I guess only KASH. Invest in a big thermos. It's only, it's not that big deal. If you're just tuning in and you're wondering why is this guy not KASH Jackson, I understand. So don't worry, we'll get through this together. Let's see here. How do I follow your page, CJ? I'm just CJ Abernathy. You can find me on there. I'm not really technically there. To the Facebook user, Semperfi, Yut. This would be great for a commercial break, Shannon, if we had commercials already prepped out, which don't worry, I'm a executive producer and I will get on that. So again, the man of the hour's back. Hopefully he doesn't leave me hanging like this in future broadcasts. I could see this being a problem.
CJ, you had one job, keep the viewers on.
I lost 6 of them. They saw this and were like, no, I'm not interested. But
So they sprung for coffee, I bet. Coffee and smoke.
Well, yeah, we don't want to have. We should talk about that for future reference. But you do have your first caller. Jason's backstage, so let me go ahead and connect you guys up.
Let's go, buddy. Hey, there's the man.
What's up, sailor?
What's up, brother? Man, that's some sexy ass beard you got.
It takes an army guy to grow a beard like this. You hear me all right?
Yeah, man, I got you loud and clear. Just a slight delay.
Oh, that's our Oklahoma cell service for you.
Oh.
Yeah, you should have told me about this yesterday. I'd have came on the show yesterday after I came in all hot.
Shit, we probably missed half of what he said, CJ.
Here, let me pull over.
No, it's 90% of the time, KASH. It's gonna be your interview. Sorry, Jason.
It's gonna be your interview, man.
I can hear you, Lima Charlie, loud and clear. You're Crystal. It's KASH that has the issue.
That's my end.
First, let me apologize for coming in so hot yesterday on you, Bubba. It's the old army guy in me. Yeah, I hear stuff that I think is a little on the crashy side like that. I just I straight to the point, man. I don't beat around the bush, and I'll call you out every time if I think it's that way. But
Hey,
no,
way to
I
go.
love what you're doing, man. I've been watching you since you started hitting them protests and walking along amongst the sludge. Uh-oh, I think I lost you. Oh, there you are. But
He messing around. Well, dude, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you being man enough to say, number one, say that you're sorry. That's a very masculine trait that isn't promoted enough in this country. I believe that it's masculine to go, you know what, hey, bro, I fucked up, man. I got this one wrong, and I just want to let you know we're good to go, me and you. You know what I mean? We can have a beer together. It's literally it should be that simple.
Yeah, I'm just across the border from you. I'm over here in Oklahoma, so I ain't too far from you.
I'll tell you what, we'll get together and share a beer then. How about over in Fort Smith?
Oh yeah, I'm not far from Fort Smith. I'm over in McAllister.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, man. If you don't mind, man, leave me your information with CJ, and after you and I wrap up, and you and I will get together.
Oh yeah, no problem.
So
yeah, the questions I was asking you yesterday was because I got my divorce down in Texas, and I wound up in custody of mine. I hired an attorney. It cost me a shit ton of money, but I got custody. That's why I was asking if yours was based off your income, because down there they base it off income, and my child support. If she got custody, I was going to have to pay for 2 children over $1,500 a month. But since I got custody, I got a whopping $225 a month.
Oh, nice.
I got the house. She got the truck. You know, it was like an old country song. You know, but of course, I never saw that child support money. You know how that goes.
Yep. Well, I wish I knew how that went. I wish I had that problem. I wish somebody was ordered to pay me child support.
So it'd just been nice to ever have seen it. But now I came in a little hot yesterday. It would have helped if I'd saw you at the beginning, but I noticed that I went in and clicked on the link and noticed that you were no longer. I was no longer getting notifications. The notifications had mysteriously been shut off on my phone, so it was no longer notifying me when you were coming live. It didn't even do it again today, even though I changed it again. So
yeah, that seems to be a pattern.
Yeah, they're strapping you. They still got the boot on your neck, but it's going to continue to go on for a while.
Right. Yeah, they got my numbers back down here to the appropriate what I'm allotted, like 39 people on the feed. I see here on the computer. So that's my typical allotment.
According to mine yesterday, I was the only one on your feed.
No
that
shit.
entire time, yeah. I finally saw one comment just before you ended the stream, and I replied to him. Wait till you get a grandkid and you're being denied access to your grandkid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was shocked yesterday when I figured out I'm older than you. I don't
know why. Look how much younger I look.
Oh shit! You sound like the rest of my friends. But
yeah, buddy, man.
I just want to touch base with you, and I'm gonna work
on. What are you smoking there? What is that? What do you got?
Just a Black and Mild sweet.
Well,
it helps if I figure out where my camera is.
Fuck me. But I got this.
Yeah, I got different style of pipes at the house.
Well, you know what? I figured I needed to grow up. I need to get rid of this one.
Yeah. That one would come in handy.
That looks like it. That looks like something a Marine would put up his backside in the fucking field. You know.
That's probably been up a Marine's backside in the field.
Hey, after those MREs, that's probably who designed it. To be honest with you, you guys stuffing all those MREs down your face. You a little backed up. You gotta have a little, you know.
Yeah, them crane eaters. You know they get after them things. My dad was a crane eater. My older brother was a crane eater. My little brother, he was another squid. So we got them all. My oldest boy, he leaves in May. He goes off to basic. So it is.
Let me ask you something, man. With that in mind, it's a great point. So you served and I served. You got a lot of military service in your family. what is your personal thought on the fact that they don't actually teach this, or, you know, we're not actually enforcing this in this country? You know what I mean? Our senior leadership isn't knowledgeable of it. There's literally zero discussion about the Constitution, when that's the one thing we all have in common in the military, is we all swear an oath to that.
I think a lot of our country's problem is the minute they said join the army or go to jail, it all went downhill. When they decided, our Supreme Court in their lovely wisdom decided that it is a form of freedom of speech to burn the American flag as a symbol of speech, but yet those same ignorant individuals will sit there and scream and cry and moan and complain if you wear a t-shirt with an American flag on it, that you're violating that same flag code, or you fly one from the bed of your truck. This country just has no morals left. None. I had sergeant majors while I was still in the Army. They said we could no longer yell at our privates. We had to hug them. This is the Nintendo generation. When your sergeant majors don't even know the Declaration of Independence or the First Amendment or the Second Amendment. I mean, the word shall not be infringed is pretty freaking simple to me. Your right to peaceably assemble has nothing to do with going to church or protesting. You have the right to assemble with 55 friends in your front yard, get shit-faced drunk, and burn whatever the fuck you want to burn. The government and your neighbor cannot say shit about it. It's protected, period.
Right.
But
So you would, so let me ask you
don't
this.
even
So
understand that.
that's a controversial issue amongst the veteran community, especially. Do you support an ability, or do you support somebody who would, one, burn the flag, but two, tell you he doesn't care if you wear the flag on your shirt? Like, he's fine with you expressing your First Amendment right. Are you fine with him expressing his freedom of speech to burn that flag? How do you feel towards that? Does
Personally,
that piss you off? Because I know it pisses off a lot of veterans.
as long
and
as he
service
don't
members.
burn it in front of me, I don't give a shit. He burns it in front of me, I'm gonna whoop his ass. That's just the way it is. I had brothers come home under that flag. Now, whether you agree with what we were doing in Afghanistan or Iraq or anywhere else for that matter, that's neither here nor there to me, because I'm the one that signed on that line. Nobody made me sign on that line. Nobody held a gun to my head. I'm going to assume, I don't know your situation, but I'm going to assume nobody held a gun to your head either when you went in, raised that right hand, swore that oath to the Constitution. You knew what you were doing. I'm going to assume you said you were 17 when you did it. You were a kid, but you knew. I'm going to assume somewhere in the back of your mind, somewhere there was a little iota of a thought, because everybody has seen a war movie somewhere in their life that they knew that, yes, there is that little bit of a chance. Now, when I went in, I was 26 years old. I owned a trucking company. 9/11 happened. I sold my trucking company, and I went down and I raised my right hand. I said, I want to be infantry. They said, you can't be infantry. Everybody and their mother wants to be infantry. I said, well, I want to be able to kill something. And they showed me this video of a paladin. I said, what the fuck is that? They said, that's artillery. I said, sign me up. I didn't see a paladin until after my first tour. I never even heard of that thing. I was light. But it was what it was. I loved every minute of it.
Where were you stationed at?
I was stationed in Hawaii with the 25th Infantry Division Light. And then I went from there to Afghanistan, came back from Afghanistan, and then I got stuck at the black hole of the Army, Fort Hood, Texas.
Oh, no, it's Fort Polk, Louisiana, ain't it? Ain't Fort Polk the shithole of the Army?
No, that's the shithole. I said the black hole. I know people that spent their entire Army career over 20 years at Fort Hood, Texas. You get stuck in Fort Hood, Texas, you're liable to literally get stuck at Fort Hood, Texas.
Stuck there. Got you.
That place is a shithole.
So how long did you serve for?
8.5 years before they medically retired me.
Okay. Well, from one old bastard to another, I appreciate your service.
So I appreciate yours too, brother. I buy Vietnam vets lunch and breakfast all the time when I see them out in public.
Well, and that's the thing, man, is that we have to be more intentional about getting together, not necessarily in a bar, but getting together as countrymen, as veterans.
Yes, we do. The best thing I did for myself was about 6 years ago. I quit drinking.
Good for you, man.
I mean, I was drinking bad. I woke up in my front yard one day with my street glide laying down on my legs, and I didn't even remember how I got home. And I decided then it was time to quit drinking.
Well, that'd probably be a really good indicator that it's time to stop that.
Yeah, considering I was drinking 3 hours away from the house.
Well, can I ask you something? Do you believe that you were self-medicating? Were you just drinking in excess because there's medical issues? You said you're medically retired, that there's issues that you're coping with or dealing with that.
There was a lot of shit I was dealing with at the time. I had, at that point in time, I had just lost one of my good friends. I considered him a friend. He was a former soldier of mine. I'd lost him to suicide. Yeah, we've all got those guys. As a matter of fact, that 22 a day you're talking about, I don't know how well you can see it. It's tattooed on the top of my hand if you look right there.
Oh, really?
Yep. It's a Spartan helmet. It's got 22, a 2 on each side of the Spartan helmet. It says, "Give none, take none." Don't give it to them, and don't take it from them.
I like that.
You just, no.
Where'd you get that done at? I need to come over and get some ink with you.
Well, I got that done down in Texas, and the gentleman that did my work, he passed away a couple of years ago from heart disease. But I got some others I got covered up over in Fort Smith. They ain't got any good ones here in town. But well, it's a small town where I'm at now.
Do you now I talk about mine. I'm very public about my use of cannabis. Do you partake in self-medicating? I think it's legal there in Oklahoma as well, right?
Yes, it is. I'm off of 7 different medications through the VA. My VA psychiatrist knows I smoke. She's been to school for it, and she just says stay away from the edibles because you don't know what you're getting when you get the edibles.
Right. I know people that grow edibles as well. Hey, there's a group I want to put you on to. CJ, executive producer type Marine Corps guy. Could you bring up Operation 1620? It is a veteran cannabis group. 1620, if you guys don't know, that's military time, 420. And 420, of course, is world renowned for Cannabis Day. April 20th, which happens to be the birthday of none other than my mother, Mama Jackson. She was born on 420. Operation 1620, the cannabis veterans. These are my buddies. These are some of my friends. Great people. If you're a veteran, go over and join this group. Tell them Cash Jackson sent you. I don't get shit for it other than to shit talk other veterans to say I brought in more guys, more of my people.
So where do you think this election shit's gonna go? I missed some of it, and I had to run back in the house after I said what was up, and I left my phone in the truck.
Well, I think that they're going to find enough evidence of fraud to warrant Trump saying, I'm not turning this office over. He's not going to turn the office over. The left's going to escalate their behaviors. The right is going to respond in kind. And the rest of us are going to rapidly formulate a plan on how do we take care of those of us who just want government the fuck out of our lives. That's what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, I think I'm going to sit on my porch, smoke some weed, and giggle at all the crybabies.
Well, you know, I mean, something that I want to point out that we often don't talk about is that, so for instance, you stated that you're off 7 medications because you medicate with cannabis. And that's awesome because that does a lot of things. I mean, it reduces the amount of medications in your body and the likelihood of them having adverse side effects. So that's a fantastic fucking thing. But
say that last
I think that it would be irresponsible of me to not tell people who don't use cannabis, haven't used cannabis, or especially to any young men or women out there that may use or are considering using. Cannabis has its drawbacks. You're you're inhaling something into your lungs. All right.
Yes, sir.
My voice is a little raspier and deeper as a result of, one, smoking cannabis, two, because I talk so much doing live feeds and interviews, and I'm on the phone all the time. And it can hurt your mental development, right? Young men, your brain's not fully developed, at least on average, till the age of 25. And so there are adverse effects to partaking in it. I just happen to believe that those adverse effects, I'm willing to accept in exchange for the pros of cannabis, which is like you, I'm not pumped full of pharmaceuticals by the Veterans Administration. I don't need to go up to the VA and see them for hosts of pharmaceuticals. I don't need to go get a resupply. But I think that it's asinine, especially as veterans, that we have to get a medical license from the state to use it. I think that's fucking bullshit. I mean, they locked people up for years over this, and now they're saying, well, we're going to regulate it medicinally, and only for those of you, who we find some issue with, whatever we deem as acceptable, for you to get medical treatment, for you to use cannabis.
Yeah, you are right. Yeah. The reason I went this way is I had two of the medications. I worked for a little while right after I got out, and I became a corrections officer over here at Big Mac, and I wound up having a stroke, a mild stroke. I walked around with my droopy face for about 2 weeks, and then 6 months later, I had a heart attack. Both of them at work, and I got to checking outside of some of the side effects of some of the medications I was on, and sure enough, stroke and heart attack was major side effects of a lot of the medications they put you on. They don't tell you that shit though, when they put you on a lot of those mood enhancing medications. And so I was quick to get off those, sold my motorcycles, went a year without having a motorcycle, and then they legalized the marijuana down here, and it's all behind me now. I got off medications. I hid it for a while from my in-laws, from the VA, that I was smoking, and then one day I was just, fuck it, I'm telling everybody. And my psychiatrist was like, really? That's good. What medications did you stop taking because of it? And they were all giddy about it. Everybody was freaking out that if you tell the VA you're going to lose all the. If you have a good relationship with your doctor and you're not a knucklehead, they're
right.
I mean, my psychiatrist, she's great. I'm not going to swear to everybody's psychiatrist is going to be my psychiatrist. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this: do you think that the VA is doing enough, though? Look,
hell no.
Don't get me wrong. The VA does some great things, and I really enjoy the little satellite clinic that I go to. The women are very friendly there. They're just real gentle, kind-hearted country people, and I love spending time with them. But the Veterans Administration has known about this issue pertaining to family law courts since at least 2010, when in their 2008 to 2010 challenge survey, that survey overwhelmingly indicated that veterans were struggling with these family law courts. I believe about 5 of their top 10 unmet needs all revolved around the issues stemming out from family court. Access to their children, reinstatement of driver licenses, professional licenses, legal assistance, 4 or 5 different issues that all revolve around the family courts. They want to get access to their kids. They want to not live on the streets. They want to not be threatened with incarceration every time they turn around. I mean, it was a really damning report. And if we can get that thing and bring it up on another broadcast, we will, and pick out some information. From 2008 to 2010, the Veterans Administration, with the Office of Child Support Enforcement, the federal agency, not a local state agency, the federal agency, they conducted this survey together and found that over 14,000 homeless veterans, that many of them we're struggling with these issues surrounding family court. So why isn't the VA doing anything about it? Why isn't Congress doing anything about it? Why was there no mention of it in Trump's executive order, which came out, a year or so ago regarding veteran suicide? I think that they're just not getting into talking to people like you and I about why it's actually happening. I don't know that they're really getting how domestic policy is influencing the suicide rate.
I think a lot of the issue is, like, if you come, we used to have them bad here at the Walmart. The guys that sat out there, homeless vet, need help. And the second you went over there and started talking to them, I swear to you, on a stack of Bibles, everything I hold dear, you'd find 1 out of 10 that was actually a vet. You start talking to them, and guy, you could tell the guy was like 29 years old, and he was a Vietnam vet. Ask him for his DD-214, and he'd look at you like, "What the fuck is a DD-214?"
Yeah.
And that's the problem that most people have the second you start talking about homeless vets. I get into this argument all the time with one of my former first sergeants. He's huge on the homeless vet issue, and everywhere you go, it was big long before I ever joined the Army. You go to the truck stops out in California, and there'll be 100 homeless vets in there wanting to polish the chrome on your truck, and not one of them will actually be a veteran. Not a single fucking one of them. And that's the biggest issue that a lot of people have with the second you start talking about a homeless vet, because the VA does actually have the programs to help the homeless vets. They have the programs. Hell, here in Eastern Oklahoma, there's the 4 different housing facilities for vets. There's 4 different ones here in Eastern Oklahoma, right on the Arkansas border. The Tahlequah, I can't remember the names of the other 3, because I know the name of Tahlequah one because they kept talking about closing it. And I used to run with some people that were always big about raising money for it to try to keep it open, and it's managed to stay open. But the programs are there. It's just the homeless vets don't want to use it because that takes away their money. They make it to Walmart, the truck stops, the street corners. Most of those guys make a killing doing that, and they're not even homeless vets. Now, the ones that we should be helping, we should help. But
yeah, you know what? I don't know, man. That would be an interesting study to do, because I've never really explored. While I've known there's men or women out there who are defrauding the American people by presenting themselves as veterans. I seen a couple, and it agitated me and it pissed me off when I saw it. Kind of going through the same questioning process that you're talking about. Great Lakes, Illinois also has like a homeless walk-in clinic, and they've got these services for homeless people. And I certainly don't disagree with that whatsoever. Where I disagree is how many of them are brought into homelessness, how it's created from the start. So, take my case, for example. It's the best one that I can use because I know it the best, of course.
Yeah, you got the dick put on your shoulder from what it sounds like.
And I'm not alone, because I've got a large network of veterans, and some of them are on this right now, that will attest to this, that they're creating the circumstances to have veterans incarcerated because they're making their lives so impossible. In my own case, $85,000 for attorney fees. I'll probably never see the light of day in being able to pay these things off for these bloodsuckers. But, running somebody, a veteran, through these courts for years at a time, tens of thousands of dollars of litigation, God knows how many lost days at work, how many vacation days they use going to court, not being able to spend time with their children or their family, or go to funerals or anything else. They're stripping us of so much more And I think one of the most important things that they're stripping us of is our dignity, and because they tear you to pieces inside.
Did we lose Cash?
Hey, CJ, I think we lost him.
I think we lost Cash. Here, sorry. Cash, you on your backup? You just dropped there. Yeah, I got him on the backup here, but it looks like he might be having an internet issue. Cash, you
Well,
gotta unmute
hey,
yourself there, man. I but you gotta unmute yourself, Cash. Yeah, he's got headphones. Yeah.
hey, now I think the biggest issue, Cash, is for this just for the sake of the conversation about family court, I know it's hard to do, but we just need to drop the vet out of it. It's what's being done to men, period, across the board. I know it's hard to drop the vet out of it because we're both veterans. It really is. But it's men across the board are being done wrong this way throughout the world. The courts come in, and because you're not the mama, you didn't carry carry the child. If you have a job as a truck driver or the oil rigs or anywhere where you're gone, the mama's automatically pretty much going to get the kid unless you can prove the bitch is smoking crack off of some other guy's junk and is murdering people in the streets. They're going to get custody. That tends to be the way it goes. And if you're making money, they're going to rape you over the coals for it, whether it be spousal support or child support, or in your case, you got stuck paying for all the extracurriculars, it sounds like. But we need to push forward some sort of legislation that just protects fathers' rights, period, across the board, whether you're a veteran or not. Fathers just get dicked out. I mean, you have just look at the abortion side. Her body, her choice. Okay, but it took two to create that baby. A woman wants an abortion, that they walk in, they get an abortion for whatever fucking reason they want, but they don't need to consult the dad. It starts right at conception. The dad don't mean shit anymore in society. Doesn't mean a damn thing. It has nothing to do with being a veteran or anything. So I don't know how much of that you heard, but just know that, yeah, I came in hot yesterday. I'm on your side. But we need, my biggest thing is I think we need to reframe the entire conversation. It's not that vets are getting fucked over by family court. Men, straight white, straight black, straight whatever color you want to pretend you are, we're getting fucked over by family court, period. I was blessed. I had a good attorney. I got custody of mine. I got my house. I still own that house. It's still in Texas. I still own that house. It's a rental property now. I make good on my life. It took the love of a good woman that I have now to do that. You know, there was several nights she pulled the gun out of my mouth because I was there. You know, Motorcycle Relief Project. If you don't know who they are, look them up. They too helped save my life. But you know, it's all in the way you frame a conversation to begin with. That's what my daddy always told me. And I think that by framing it as just veterans are getting fucked, you tend to lose a lot of the people you're trying to convince, I think. And I think it's just all men across the board from conception on are getting fucked when it comes to their kids. Does that make sense to you, my brother?
Absolutely, it does. No, and you're entirely correct to the degree that 85% of full custody is given to mothers. 85 to 90% of all child support is paid by men. You can't argue those numbers, and that it doesn't make us anti-woman to point these numbers and these disparities out. Moreover,
no.
it's not
We
like
wouldn't be
we're not
here without
asking. Yeah, we're not asking for women to have this punishment heaped upon them either. We're not asking for that. What we're asking for is that the judiciary is held accountable, that transparency is developed across the board, that affordability to go through this process that you're required by the state, because the state requires you, if you want to be married, to get a license, to get a certificate. More state overreach. You have to get that. And then to get rid of that contract that you entered into, you have to go back through the state. So again, the requirements set by the state, they funnel you into their system, and disproportionately men have been on the receiving end of this, which I believe is the primary reason that the highest demographic of suicide is amongst middle-aged white males, middle-class white men, because they're absolutely decimated as they come into these courts. And for those of us who, or those who live kind of in poverty and below the poverty line, I believe that their suicide rate isn't as high as those middle-aged white men from middle-class America, because many of them, they're used to growing up in very difficult circumstances. They're used to government and the law shitting all over them. They're accustomed to it. It doesn't shatter their reality the way it shatters the reality of a person who grew up in a middle-class home in a white picket fence, or the veteran who believes that his country loves him as much as he loves his country, right? It shatters those false perceptions, realities that we have. And I believe that that's why that number is higher amongst middle-aged white men in this nation, to the tune of nearly 40,000 suicides a year. And the overwhelming majority are men. Doesn't make us anti-woman to point out these facts. These are just facts that we want talked about and we want rectified, and nobody's doing it. So it compels people like myself to put on our uniform, volunteer for a news agency like the Veteran Liberty Network, and host a show and have veterans like my friend Jason here on to discuss very complex social issues that Congress and the executive branch and the judicial branch are not solving. They're making it worse. We want to fucking make it better. And the only way I know of to make it better in a peaceful way are these types of conversations, just candid, frank, in-your-face conversations. And so, Jason, man, I want to thank you for coming on, and I want to thank you yesterday for coming in and, coming in like a bull in a china shop. Hey, you saw that you can be a bull. The funny thing is it's my china shop, and I got something behind the counter. You know what I mean?
It's all good. But hey, I was glad to come on. I'll come on again if you want me. Hopefully I didn't chase away all your people. But hey, thanks CJ. Thanks Cash. Love you
Appreciate
guys.
you, brother.
Keep your heads up high.
Yes, sir. You too, man. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Am I gonna have to assume again that my camera is frozen?
No,
it's gonna be an issue that I have to get resolved, and I don't know how I'm gonna do it.
No, it's not. It's not frozen.
Oh yeah, see, it's frozen on my end. My phone's frozen.
Is it?
It is. Yeah, this is the second time the screen is locked up.
Oh man. So first episodes are always great. Technical difficulties. Yeah, it happens with a phone. We got to get your internet connection better somehow, some way, shape, or form. But yeah, great conversation with Jason. Glad he called in. Just some producer
was a nice
notes
guy,
here
man.
at the end. You guys, Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
8 a.m. ish.
A great input.
8 a.m. ish.
Great input. I'd like to get more into the whole flag burning t-shirt conversation maybe someday. Roughly a 2-hour broadcast. We're not going to get to 2 hours today. I have to go out. This is where your best energy is, man. I think a lot of people are going to like waking up to Cash Jackson in the morning and listen in, and I try to do the best, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm definitely not as tired
this is just the first one. Good. Do you feel
Well,
like
let's be
you
honest,
got
I've
some
already
energy after
done.
this? I mean, an hour and a half is pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, I've done hundreds of videos. I'm gonna enter into the broadcast studio on my laptop, see if I can read comments. Because I don't like not being able to see comments. It drives me
Yeah, you
crazy. I like
gotta.
to see what people are saying and have that
No,
conversation and answer questions.
yeah. If I see something that's relevant in the conversation, I was putting it up on screen. If there's anything you want to go back and address,
No, I would like you though
you know,
to
feel
take a
free. I mean,
moment and
like
let
I
people
said,
know about the different social
we got to
media
get going here in
platforms.
a little bit, but
Did you get that?
yeah, yeah. So, like for example, when you want to find out all the fun things about Cash Jackson, there's a website that you can go to. But you know, you've been you slow down my internet for some reason, Cash. Like it just doesn't
It's
want to
not
work.
me.
See, like it
bad.
says I have lag on my end.
Look. Yeah, see there, Adam? It's you. Cash is clear on his side. Thank you, Mr. Castle. I thought that I had convinced CJ that I'm never wrong,
Yes.
but apparently he hasn't remembered that lesson.
Yes. Yeah.
He knows I'm joking. I'm joking. This guy's my executive producer, man. We got history, me and this guy.
Well, Cash, you all know where to find this guy already, but go to cashjackson.com.
Well, you know what? I was really just trying to get that.
I'm trying
the Patreon out.
Land the,
you got to get the Patreon out there, CJ.
Now with the internet getting laggy and a host that goes and refills his coffee.
Hold on. I think the FBI is knocking on my door. Hold on. Let me go see.
Patreon.com.
You know the FBI and the Secret Service came to see me, right?
Oh, who's his? It's definitely my end. Yeah. Hopefully we don't ever have a raid happen. Looks something like, oh my gosh, is it like it? That'd be terrible. I'm having issues. It only seems to happen when Cash Jack.
It's the feds, I'm telling you.
Around. So
NSA, CIA, FBI, DOI,
here, I guess.
Bureau of Land Management.
Dang, I didn't even push that button. So pushing buttons, Cash. I see. Look, I didn't even have my hands on the screen.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Fucking NSA, man, I'm telling you.
Okay. Well, that's fun to know.
They love me.
Yeah. So, how do you want to end these shows, Cash? Like, Adam likes to read the good news. What do you like to do?
That's a great question. You know what?
Adam likes to read the good news and on this day in history. So he'll read what happened like in 1842 today. But what do you want to do? Like, what's your sign off?
I think I'd like to read the Constitution with everybody.
Hey, real quick, just because we can. And Kobe. All right, real quick, Kobe, Joe, you got 30 seconds, sir.
Kobe, what up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Kobe? Joe, you got 30 seconds. What's up?
Oh, nothing. I like what you're doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just hitting some buttons, and here I am.
So it's on you today.
Hey, my brother. I like that hat, man.
Corruption in family court, man. I ain't getting to see my kids. I like what you're doing. Keep fighting the fight.
Fuck yeah. I got your back, brother.
I got your back.
That's what I'm talking about.
All
That's
right,
what
man.
we need.
Thanks for having me on here. I wasn't expecting this. But
Hey, we're gonna get you on a little longer. Here in a couple days, whenever I come back on, we're kind of working out bugs, man. This is like one of our first. Well, it's really our first episode that he's producing. So we're just here to work out some bugs and get things streamlined with the help of you guys.
all right, we're on our way to work to cut some trees. Out here,
Shit, yeah. You stay safe in them treetops, brother.
you bet. Keep fighting the good fight.
Yes, sir. Hey, thanks for joining us, brother.
All right, man. God bless you.
All right, big dog. Bye. Yeah, I like that, man. I love being able to interact with people. That's the best. That is the fucking best. Does Bill O'Reilly or Tucker Carlson, do they take live callers or is it all pre-scheduled shit? They're all prepared. They're ready for whatever's happening. CJ, is you waving at me? Okay. He's waving at something down here in the
Click. There we go. Yeah, so my internet no longer works. The computer shut down.
took him down. You see what I'm saying? They're not gonna let me have a show, CJ.
Oh, well, we're gonna have a great show, Cash. We're gonna fight the federal government over the internet.
You see what I'm saying? You think I'm
Yeah.
bullshitting, huh? I think everybody thinks I've been bullshitting.
Well, I mean, my internet just don't work. I mean, I pay for the top-notch internet, the highest internet speed you can get.
Funny it happens while we're broadcasting, right?
Yeah, and this stuff really don't happen for Adam Kokesh. No offense, Adam, but he's got his own different problems with the government there. But so yeah, no, I don't have access to yours. So you're gonna have to land the plane today on the first broadcast and hit the end button.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So
here's what I want to do. They've throttled me down to 32 of you, but that's 30. Hold on. Fuck off. Damn. Now they got. That's good because I only got 15% battery. It looks like marketers are calling. They're doing everything they can to shut me up.
yeah, they're blocking us up, huh? Yeah, I was thinking back to I was thinking back to my days, and I got my little boot camp yearbook picture here.
I think I'm going to read this just a couple pages. That's what I'm talking about, you handsome son of a bitch.
Yeah, buddy.
Hold on.
Yeah, I guess I really didn't talk about myself, but yeah, I was part of 1st Combat Engineer Battalion.
Yeah. Hey,
Iraq
show some of those fucking medals, man.
There you go.
Huh? Look at that.
Look at that. Man, you even got Marina's little makeup light for yourself. Wow.
Fuck yeah. You see that back there? Look at that. Boom. You can
I-
see the oval eye.
Yeah, well, I can see the reflection. That's about it.
Yeah, I know.
Why does my cell phone have better service than my computer with like super duper internet?
I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah, Jason was clear as day. I'm clear as day. You're clear as day now, but so yeah, just to let everybody know, I was finishing producer notes. You can tune in Monday, Wednesday, Friday for a roughly 2-hour show where we start at roughly 8-ish because Monday mornings, it depends how the weekend goes. We'll try to leave you guys with a good Friday show, and Wednesday being hump day to get you through your week. You can get all things Cash Jackson at cashjackson.com. We're going to be starting up the Patreon. The Patreon is where you're going to be able to interact with Cash the most because this censorship that we're getting, this throttling we're getting.
Damn, they just kicked him out of the broadcast studio. They just threw fucking CJ off. Don't tell me they're not fucking with us, man. I'm watching. They just kicked CJ out.
Here. So, right as I'm saying, the censorship that we're dealing with, The little games that are somehow being played. We'll have fun figuring it out 3 days a week. Just on a personal note, Cash, it's going to be an honor to work with you as the executive producer of whatever we're going to call this shit show. But it's going to be one of the greatest shit shows to watch. And I think it's going to be helpful for a lot of people. And so I would encourage people to click the link, join the broadcast. It's an open discussion. So if you want to, click that link and be a caller, hop in the queue and we'll let Cash know there's callers. And
I'll have you on, right? Even if you disagree with me.
What's that?
Even if someone disagrees with me, they could fucking hate my guts.
Even if especially if you disagree with Cash, please click the link. Yeah, especially if you hate this man's guts, if you think this is the biggest asshole on today's world, please click the link and come have that conversation, please.
But just know, whatever you say is going to equip me with how I'm going to treat you, right? However you come into my studio and talk to me, expect that you're going to get what you give, right?
Oh, we'll see. Remember, this is your arena. This is where the war is going to be fought for your First Amendment here on your show.
Let's invite the road lawyer on. He seems really amicable. He wants to fucking talk to the movement.
Reach out to Cash and Cash. You and we're gonna get together and
y'all want to have the road lawyer on?
Well, we can get. Listen, guests are going to be something that we can schedule ahead. We can put them in the calendar and we can get them the link, the same StreamYard link you and I click on every day to join this show. They'll get, and we'll do interviews and it'll be fun.
Yep, it'll be fucking fun.
But you're gonna have to land this plane today, Cash. I got to figure out why my internet's isn't working, and I've got a show to run in less than a half hour. So.
Oh, so you're wanting me to wrap this shit up and end it? Why don't you just cut to the chase, bud?
Well, we were planning on going till 10, but 10:30's okay for the first broadcast,
Well, good. Well, so I might be headed down to Georgia to the Donald Trump rally, and meeting up with some other people.
But Monday morning, 8:00, we'll be here, right?
Monday morning, 8 a.m. ish. 8 a.m. ish.
Oh, man.
Yes, we will be live. So please go subscribe to that Patreon account. Facebook. Of course, me doing this, well, I survive on your support or lack thereof. And I love doing what I do. I love being outspoken. I think that I'm saying the things that a lot of people want to say, but they're afraid to fucking say it. And they're in a position where somebody's going to enact a reprisal against you if you voice your opinion the way that I am. And I believe that I can be a conduit for many people because they're living in fear of their job or their boss or their ex or the state government. They're living in fucking fear of what these people will do to them if they voice their opinion. And I want to voice my opinion and your opinion, if you want me to, as loudly and as viscerally as I can, with no regard to who gets offended or what they fucking think about me or you and our relationship. Whether that's friends or you're just people who support me and follow me, or you're my family, that's our relationship. And if you support what the fuck I'm doing and how I'm doing it, well, that makes us pretty damn close to family in my book.
Amen, Cash.
So that's all I got to say.
All right. Well, you can take me off screen, wrap it up, hit that end button. And like I said, shout out to Mama Jackson, Marina. How you guys doing? I can't wait to see you guys again. And that's all I've got here, Cash. So we'll see you on Monday. Have a good weekend.
I'll be good. I got to end two different ones. Go in the show. We leave.